is she just not fantastic? Like, not only she's an amazing actress.
No, we ain't ever getting older.
So, wow. I love that Sarah's taking... Kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at closer. I was going to say with Halsey, but it's not. It's Sarah Hyland and Boyce Avenue. Now, I love Sarah Hyland's voice. She's absolutely fantastic. Loving where she's going with her sound. This was a wee while ago, but we're going to be taking a little look. I love this as a reference to... I have seen this performance before, but I love this as a reference to quite a breathy, light sound that she's using. And also the way in which we can use let's just say a slightly lighter voice, but then going into a louder sound. So I'm going to be talking about how we're going to be able to do that today. Let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue, but I'm okay. Hey, you tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart, moved to the city in a broke down car and...
Do you not just like love Boyce Avenue and the way that I've been following them for a really long time, and I just absolutely love the way that they have grown. And just take a moment to look at the microphone that they are using, the microphones that they're using. Bog standard SM58. Actually, he is using the same one, that one. SM58 better. Honestly, you don't need to go crazy on microphones. That the industry standard and have been for a really long time for a good reason. Let's just go back on that. That's like nothing to do with vocal technique, but whatever. Don't go and spend unnecessary money on crazy microphones. Those are very, very well priced.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue, but I'm okay. Hey, you tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again.
So we've got quite a low larynx, but obviously it's going to be different. I sound when I sing an octave higher than he does. Yeah, so low but far before I met you. In order to get that darker sound going on, we're lowering the larynx, but we've got a little bit of breath coming in there, which is going to help to take a bit of the pressure off. Because if we were to keep the vocal folds closed, it might start to sound a little bit pressed.
Nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart, moved to the city in a broke down car and 4 years no calls, now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar. I can't stop.
So did you notice the change in the timbre there, or the color of the sounds? Like, no, it breaks my heart, moved to the city in a broke down car. Again, totally different on my sound, but he's moved the larynx up higher because not only has the pitch gone up, which we need to do, we need to move the larynx for pitch, but also we're needing to kind of like elevate the song before, elevate, what was that word? Elevate the song. Before we come into the chorus there.
Hotel bar, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older.
You might be wondering why they are so far apart. Now, when you're recording especially, I genuinely do believe that they do record live, yeah? Because although it sometimes seems like things are a little bit out of time, I mean, that's just like purely on an audio engineering standpoint. This is very difficult to do, especially in that type of room with all the bricks. But they've got the sound treatments. You can see all these black things behind them. That's to to suck up some of those echoes. So they're so far away from each other in order to avoid the bleed going on. So that's maybe the guitar being heard by Sarah's microphone and vice versa. You can't cut it out completely, but it's to avoid it as much as possible. So never on and oh, da, 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 da. Sarah's coming in there with the higher harmony there. So let's just go and have a little bit of a look at that again.
No cause, now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar. I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your...
So yeah, so we've got a slightly, well, I still genuinely think that this is in a chest voice quality. We're just allowing those vocal folds to open. So breathy doesn't always immediately mean falsetto. We've got that, still got quite a lot of core to the sound. Tattoo off your shoulder, we hit. And what's happening there is, I really do think this is kind of around where she speaks. Tattoo off your shoulder. So we're not really having to do a whole bunch in terms of the body or the larynx or anything like that. But you can hear it's quite devoid of vibrato, and that's in order to make sure that their voices do blend a lot better, because as soon as we start to add vibrato, it's like different rates of oscillation. It starts to get very messy.
It's right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older.
The day I met you, I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay and play that Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Okay.
Oh, is she just not fantastic? Like, not only she's an amazing actress, but she's also a fantastic singer as well. So we got hey da 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 da. Now, we do know that Sarah is quite a small person, okay? So she's not very tall, and usually, and I'm not saying like there's one rule to rule them all, usually smaller people have smaller larynges or larynxes here and where the vocal folds live. A smaller larynx is very much like a smaller guitar. This is actually a ukulele. This creates a brighter sound than my full-size guitar. Okay, so Alejandro is the lead singer of Boyce Avenue. So, you know, for example, this would be Sarah's larynx and this would be Alejandro's larynx in terms of the sort of size. And that's general for between females and males. There are different larynx sizes as well. So when we've got this, let's just go back on that because I've just kind of forgotten looking at his voice.
As good as the day I met you, I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay and play that Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Okay.
Cool. So we got hey, stay and play that song. So we've got again. It is a chest voice sound. I genuinely do believe this is a chest voice sound. We do know, well, I know Sarah's voice from Modern Family, big fan of that show. So this is very similar to the way that she speaks in that higher larynx position, thicker vocal folds, but she's just opening them to hey, da, 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 da. But the important part about that is that she's keeping the volume relatively low. You can see she's coming close to the microphone, but we are sort of hearing those breaths between, which is telling us that the gain has been turned up. Again, don't think too much about the microphone. This is a really good microphone for recording this sort of stuff, but also, you know, as a stage microphone as well.
That we beat to death in Tucson, okay.
I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car. 4 years, no calls. Now I'm looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop.
So good. so interesting because you listen to that and you're like, whoa, that's high, but it's actually only the A flat 4, which is the A flat above middle C. And again, not because of like, oh, it's not that high. Actually, that's like bang in a great range for the female chest voice. But again, thicker vocal folds, higher larynx, smaller larynx as well, also creates that slightly higher timbre. We're actually only up on the A flat 4, which is the A flat above middle C. So when I'm saying only because I'm not poo-pooing Sarah, it's like we listen to it, we're like, wow, that's really high, but it's not. And that's slap bang in the middle of the female chest voice. Beep, where were we again? But we're noticing, see there, again, thicker vocal folds. She's taken all of the breath out of the sound, and now she's come on top of the mix in terms of the volume. No big car, moved to the city in a broke down car. Again, no vibrato, so that they blend a lot better, but we're hearing her voice above in the mix.
Moved to the city in a broke down car. 4 years, no calls. Now I'm looking pretty in a hotel bar. And I can't stop. No, I can't stop. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat.
It gets not that much high, baby, pull me closer. But because we've gone into probably a little bit more of a falsetto sound, it immediately starts to sound higher when we're adding in that breath. Baby, pull me closer. She's going to need to take more breaths, obviously, because we're using more breath in the sound. But I just love that because, you know, breaks your heart. We're hearing like it's not sounding strange. She's not needing to do anything extra. And this is really the important part about vocal training is we're working with the body. We're working with the voice. We're looking and going, okay, this is your natural setup. This is like what your physiology is giving us. What sounds can we create and what songs fit best in your voice? What range should you be working with? And that's something that needs to be looked at on an individual basis. So if you are wanting to improve your vocal technique and you want to have help to just for someone to show you exactly what you should be practicing, when you should be practicing, and what songs you should be looking at, check out the link in the description below because my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, is accepting new one-to-one singing students. That is something that we will help you to achieve. And I have a fantastic group of colleagues who are just so amazing and I trust implicitly with your voice to make sure that you can hit your vocal goals.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't ever getting older.
So good. Isn't she just a fantastic singer? Because we ain't ever getting older. She's just dropped the larynx ever so slightly there in order to sort of darken the sound. So important that when we're singing these types of songs that we're also thinking about all the different colors that we can do. So she started in that breathy sound and then she built to a closed vocal fold sound. Then she went to quite a falsetto-y sound. So she's gone up higher. And then now that she's coming, we ain't never getting older. That juxtaposition makes a huge difference when we're doing this type of singing.
We ain't ever getting older. So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from.
So this is quite cool actually, because at the beginning Sarah was at the top of the harmony and now she's gone down and taken the lower harmony, which is really lovely actually, in order to, because as we're building the song, the female voice and the male voice sound an octave apart from one another. So even though they're singing the same notes, they sound like they're singing in harmony. They aren't though, they're singing a harmony. So now that Sarah's dropped down, that's going to bring the song in sort of like down in terms of the, it's really technical, Zoe, it's going to bring the song down. It's going to give this sort of like finalized feeling rather than sort of when the female voice is up here, it makes us want to lift off in that. So I haven't really talked too much about Alejandro's voice there because he's using quite a similar vocal quality, thicker vocal folds. He has changed the larynx position there, but now he's adding in the air into the sound. It's quite sort of a straight tone. There's not a lot going on in terms of any effects being used or anything like that, actually in both of them. So it's a really great example of how just quite... You don't have to always do vocal fireworks in order to make a great performance.
We ain't ever getting older, so baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole.
So I don't know if you just saw that. Pull the mattress on the corner. So Sarah's just brought the lips forward a little bit there. So bringing the lips forward is going to darken the tone a little bit. So that's also going to aid. And I was just thinking there with Alejandro's go, because he's gone into this breathy vocal quality. It's come right close to the microphone there and pulled back on the volume quite considerably. And that's really going to help with pitching as well. His pitching's fantastic. I'm just saying that when you're singing quietly, you want to pull back on the volume.
Your roommate back in Boulder, we ain't ever getting older. No, 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 we ain't ever getting older. We ain't ever getting older.
So, wow. I love that Sarah's taken us really on this ride. So mix is actually a little bit ambiguous because we singing teachers also discuss at length what people are doing with their voices and if we would call this mix or chest voice. We do know that it's not belting, it's not loud enough or sort of like brilliant enough to be belting. Brilliant in terms of like the color and of the sound and not in terms of how good it is. But we're up on that C5 there, which is above the passage of the female voice. So we do need to allow the vocal folds to thin in order to go up there and add in that thyroid tilt, but we don't have a ton of tilt you're hearing there because there's no vibrato coming in sound, quite a straight tone. So I would probably say this is what a lot of people would call mix, just because we're taking that, we're just thinning out the vocal folds a little bit as we're going up.
No, we ain't ever getting older. No, we ain't ever getting older. No, we ain't ever getting older.
And we heard that, yeah, that was probably, and again, don't quote me on this, but it's probably the first time that Sarah's really opened her mouth up a little bit more. When we're doing it, we're changing to more of that open valve. That's also going to help to darken the sound there. So it's also about mouth shape, tongue shape, and all these sorts of things that really help to color the sound that's coming out of our mouth.
We ain't ever getting older. No, we ain't ever getting older.
Such a beautiful performance, and I really do love because you see, you know, there's a reason why this performance has 134 million views. How fantastic. And it's just so wonderful. Boyce Avenue is 16.9 million subscribers. It's so fantastic to see like a real story of just how they clocked in relatively early about how to gain success on YouTube. And that was to create really high quality videos and put a lot, I mean, they would have put a lot of money into this. as well, because this sort of stuff is not cheap. And that's why I can only recommend to you to make sure that you, if you're a musician, go out there and network with people, get to know people, because it's really through, I mean, they're three brothers, so they don't have to pay each other to be there. But, you know, it gets very expensive when you have to pay musicians and pay people to do all of the editing and things. So, you know, get out there and network and make friends with a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of different skills rather than trying to honestly do it all yourself, because it can get really, really overwhelming. But wow, absolutely love that. And obviously, I know you can sometimes watch these videos and go like, oh, well, that's it. You know, I've missed the wave of YouTube. No, you haven't. You really haven't missed the wave of getting on there, getting your music out there, because people are always on YouTube looking for new music. It is a little bit harder these days in order to kind of like pop off and break out. But if you do put the effort in, there you are going to be found. That's usually through posting more shorts and getting people to come through to your channel from that direction. But I have a massive goal and a huge, huge, huge favor to ask. I have a huge goal for 2025. I want to reach 1 million subscribers. We're already in July. I know it's a big ask, but I feel it in my bones that we're going to reach it this year. So I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and really help me to get to 1 million subscribers, because I want to help more people like yourself here for free on YouTube with their vocal technique. All of the freebies and lesson information is available in the description below. I haven't had a look at Boyce Avenue before, but I have had a look at Halsey, so you can check her out up here. Very similar in terms of the vocal technique with Sarah, because they're both fantastically trained singers. Have an awesome rest of the day. And just remember, anyone can learn to sing, and that's what I'm here to help you to do. Ka kite anō.